Hebrews 4:14 says this, "Therefore, since we have a great high priest who has ascended into heaven, Jesus, the Son of God, let us hold firmly to the faith we profess." The high priest was the most prestigious spiritual leader in the Israelites. And the high priest had the ability that only one person could do, and that was to enter the Holy of Holies once every year on the Day of Atonement to offer sacrifices on behalf of the people. See, there was this really thick veil that separated the holy place from the Holy of Holies. And after the high priest went through the rigorous ceremonial process to become clean, he would go behind that veil and he would offer the blood of a goat that would sit on the high chair on top of the Ark of the Covenant. And that sacrifice would cover the Israelites' sin for yet another year, until the Day of Atonement on the following year, when the high priest would start the process again. See, this method of atonement for sins was never meant to be permanent. That wasn't the design. And this was a foreshadowing of a more permanent solution that would come in Jesus in the future. It was a foreshadowing of Jesus giving the perfect and endless atonement on the cross. And just like the high priest would go behind that veil in the Holy of Holies, Jesus would go behind the veil and into heaven to be with God after he ascended, after his death and resurrection. In Hebrews chapter 7, verses 23 and 24, it reminds us about the truth of the high priests. And it says, "Since death prevented them from continuing in office, but because Jesus lives forever, he has a permanent priesthood." So Jesus has the permanent priesthood. He is the highest priest, and this is an enduring role for us forever. He is the high priest, and he is still alive and will always be alive. And we can approach the throne of grace that Jesus sits on freely. We can do so freely. Jesus is near. Jesus is concerned with us. He cares about our livelihood. He's not distant. He is not separate from us. Even though he is without sin and we live in sin, he is still near to us. He still makes himself available to us. We have direct and instant access to the Father through Jesus because of what Jesus did for us on the cross. Because of his perfect atonement, we have direct access to the Father. And when we communicate to him, he hears us and he responds. So our challenge to you today is exactly that. Because we have that ability to approach the throne of grace directly, do so. Do that. Approach that throne. Approach the Father today and pour out your heart to him, and he will hear you and he will respond.